Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Whatever the I Want podcast, where I, your host, Gabby, get to talk about whatever the I want. And today's episode is going to be about simplifying your life. One of the biggest ways that I've simplified my life has been getting rid of things. So I remember once watching Marie Kondo's show on Netflix. And for those who don't know, she's like an organizer and she gives people advice or even goes into people's homes and helps teach them how to organize their things in terms of like how to fold jeans, how to make the most of your space, etc. But one thing that I learned from her was that whenever you're getting rid of clothes or donating them, you need to thank them for what they did for you. So like, thank you to this pair of jeans that I wore every other day to work. You got me through a lot of shifts or whatever. And like, now it's time to part ways, but thank you for what you did for me. And I think that we need to start treating objects like, although we know that they don't have feelings, but at least being grateful or thankful for what they did for us whenever we did have them. And I think it's perfectly fine too, to re-gift things that you might not necessarily use. I think that there can be a stigma behind this, and I don't understand why. If it's something that you don't feel like fits your personality, if it's something that you don't feel like maybe it doesn't even fit you or whatever and you can't return it, okay, I think it's perfectly fine to re-gift something. I also think that when it comes to owning things, I was one of those people who I would kind of describe as a hoarder, and I know I get it from my grandparents. I get it from my grandparents. I get it from my parents. They're people who just collect things. And I know that this is like a common experience between people whose families grew up during the Great Depression or whose families didn't have much growing up. And so whenever they owned, they're just like, we're going to keep all of it because you never know. You never know. Una nunca sabe. You don't know when you're going to need it. And so we're just going to hold on to it. And then by the time you know it, you've had a pair of shoes for like 5 years that you haven't worn and you don't gravitate towards, but like, why do you still own them? Why am I moving them from this apartment to the next apartment to the next apartment to the next apartment? And it's just clutter at this point. I think within this past year, learned to detach myself from the things that I owned. There's still obviously a lot of things that I love and really enjoy. Like, for example, my plushies. I had a huge collection of them. I love stuffed animals. And I remember at some point my sister, she was like, just throw them all away. Like, why are you an adult with stuffed animals? And, now I think her perspective on that has changed. She's like, oh, she can appreciate a stuffed animal. But I did realize that I did have a lot and not all of them I entirely loved. And while I can still think that they're super cute, it was like, why am I moving all of these stuffed animals whenever things just, they're not bringing me as much joy as they used to. And I really think a big shift happened whenever I hit my most recent, dip down. Like, I was very depressed last December and it was a really tough time for me. And it really made me reflect about like, what really makes me happy? What really brings me joy? And for that, it's like the people in my life. I really started to realize that like, none of this shit matters. Like, what matters is my family, my friends, my partner, the people in my life who truly love me and support me and who bring me joy. And once I got out of that depression, I was like, oh, like, wait, there are still some things that I can still appreciate or get joy by. Like, I started selling some of my Funko Pops and things like that. And I mean, at some point I had like a decent sized collection, and it's like, okay, well, we did sell some things, but I don't have this like burning desire of like, oh, I regret that. I don't regret letting go of my stuffed animals. I ended up, I've kept a few, like some that, I've gotten more recently or from like partners or things like that. But at some point I had like a big stuffed animal collection of just like things like, for example, somebody at TwitchCon had won a stuffed animal from a little machine and they were like, do you want it? And I'm like, sure. It wasn't the cutest thing ever, but I was like, okay, cool. Like, free plushie. But now I only keep things that like, oh, I truly, truly, truly love. Like, my sister-in-law got me a Minecraft box 1 year for my birthday. And so, I keep that one. Like, there's a few that are more sentimental to me than others. And I think that can still make people hoard. Like, you can still hoard things that like pictures or things like that. I used to be like that. I used to have, it was just this past year that I burned a caricature drawing of me and my very first boyfriend ever. I can't tell you how many years we've been apart and I still had that caricature drawing. It wasn't up or anything, but it was just like in storage. And whenever I saw it, I was like, I think it's time to let this go. You know, like enough time has passed for me to realize like this isn't something that I need to be holding on to. Now, are there still some things from like the past that I hold on to, like prom pictures or things like that? Like, yeah, I think that's perfectly fine to keep, especially because those are like core memories versus like having like selfies with somebody who once meant something to you. So I will say that like I have now converted into like trying to simplify my life digitally, because I'm one of those people that just like collects a lot of pictures or videos, and I like document every part of my life. And so I have to go through and like delete things, because or else like my phone, my emails, those kinds of things will pile up. And I used to be the type of person that had like 1,000 unread emails, and now I'm like, unsubscribe to the content that you don't want, unsubscribe to all of these like get 20% off here, 30% off here, blah blah blah. Companies really don't care about you. They want you to come into the store and to spend money. So like, sure, get your savings, but don't feel pressured to buy things, because working in the industry, that's the whole point. You want the consumer to feel pressured into buying something. You want them to feel like, I cannot miss on this deal. I can't pass on this. I need to go to the store. I need to go shopping. I need this new collection. I need these things. When you really don't, you don't need these things. Whenever you hit rock bottom, you really start to realize what you do need. And what I do need is a roof over my head. When I got that. What I do need is a strong support system. And I got that. What I do need is food in my fridge. And I got that. I remember my grandma, my mom, and, you know, people who are older than me are like, I don't need anything for Christmas. Oh, I don't need anything for my birthday. Like, I have all that I need. And, you know, I'm still like, oh, but presents are still nice. And now I'm at the age where I'm like, I don't need anything. I really don't. And it's not that you ever needed those things to begin with. It's just that they were nice. And I can still appreciate a gift, especially because now you start to realize that there's a lot of thought and intention behind them. And I can appreciate that. But I also think that you don't need to feel obligated to buy somebody something. I know that a lot of us have that mindset of like, oh, well, so-and-so bought me a gift, so I have to get them a gift for their birthday or whatever. And it's like, but you don't have to do anything. It's nice to do things, but you don't have to. So when it comes to simplifying your life, donate the clothes that you don't wear. Donate the clothes that you don't like. How many clothes do you have in your closet that you don't like? Because you don't like the way it fits you. You don't like the style of it. You bought it because it was cheap, not because you actually liked it. Donate those things. And whenever I tell you to donate them, sure, you can take them to Goodwill. You can take them to Salvation Army or whatever. I would love for you to donate them to like a women's shelter. I would love for you to date them. Yeah, period. They need love too. Go ahead and date them. But like, you should really donate your clothes to your community. So there are these things called buy nothing pages. For those of us that still have Facebook, I'm an oldie. I still have Facebook. They have these things called a buy nothing page. So different cities have, for example, Chicago, buy nothing. New York, buy nothing. West Palm Beach, buy nothing. Type these into your search bar on Facebook. Join these Facebook groups. And it is literally a community of people who donate things to other people in the community. Sometimes it's first come, first serve. Sometimes it's a random pick. Maybe you have like 20 people in the comments saying, I really want that set of chairs. And then they'll pick randomly. So I've gotten plenty of things from buy nothing pages. I got this bed frame from a buy nothing page. I got a giant bookcase in my living room on a buy nothing page. Bitch, I got my couch, my sectional couch on a buy nothing page. And just get your little steam cleaner thingy, clean it, and it's fine. It's like new. I've donated clothes from there, clothes that no longer fit me, shoes that don't fit me, just things that I'd rather give to the community than give to an organization that's just going to end up selling that. I'd rather just give it to like a local family. And I've given away pillows, like random things, bed sheets, extra towels, just things that I feel like started to take over my life. I started to feel like my stuff started to own me versus me owning my things. So I had extra towels. Okay, I donated them on the page. Extra sheets. I have 2 beds. How many extra sheets do I really need? You know, maybe like 1 or 2 extra pairs. And that's still plenty. You don't need 3, 4, one for every season. You don't need all these things. And I used to think like, I used to have that mindset of like, oh, I really want a blanket for every season. Oh, I really want these things. And I can still appreciate them. They're still so cute, but it's like, do I really need them? Do I? I don't. I've had the same Halloween decorations that I got from the dollar store for like, 4 years now? The same decorations that I've had for Valentine's Day, things like that. I just collect them and I keep them in an area. I really should put them in a bin. They're just kind of like they're just in a place in the house. They really need a bin and to be organized, but it's all enough to fit one bin, including my Christmas tree. My Christmas tree is like this big because I've lived in like smaller places, for the past few years. And it's like, why do I need a big ass tree? I got my tiny little tabletop tree and it's fine. It does me good. And it still gets you into the spirit. And what I really want to do, one of my goals this year is to sew pillow covers. So it's like, I don't need to buy pillows for every season. I can still decorate, but instead of buying extra pillows that are going to take up more room, that are not necessarily sustainable, that can create clutter, etc., why don't I just sew pillowcases that can just go over the pillows I own? That way for that holiday, if I want to decorate, I can just decorate. So I think that there's more sustainable ways to go about decorating and doing things like that. So again, one of the ways I've simplified my life has been by donating things to the local community that I no longer use. Another one, like I said, has been unsubscribing from digital content that I no longer need. Another thing that I've done to simplify my life when it comes to cooking is donating any pots or pans, or like I had 2 toasters. Why did I have 2 toasters? Donated that. And we had 2 blenders, donated the extra one. I've donated a lot of extra supplies or like things that I had that were really just taking up space, because for me, and I'm sure it's like this for many of us, clutter does not let me think properly. When the house is not clean, when the house is cluttered, when there's just a lot of stuff, I feel very overwhelmed. I like for things to have a place. That doesn't mean that it's always like that. When I'm getting ready, pants will be tossed here, clothes will be tossed here. It's unrealistic to think that the house will be spotless every single moment of the day. It's not real. But if I can control having several pairs of jeans that fit me, that I love, then I will control that. At one point I had like 15 pairs of jeans. Girl, what? I have maybe like 4 or 5 now, and I need to honestly get rid of them because they don't fit me. First of all, the majority of them don't fit me, and they're all light wash. Why are the majority of my jeans light wash? Why don't I just have one dark pair, one light pair, one medium, and if I want a black pair, I can get a black pair. But it's like being more intentional with what you're buying and what you're consuming, even like mentally, helps simplify your life. Another thing I do, use the crock pot. Do 1-pot recipes. If I know I don't have the mental capacity to wash all these dishes, I'm gonna do a 1-pot recipe. That lasagna soup that went viral on TikTok, delicious. Make it. Simplify your life. Why am I going to clean all these dishes when I know I don't fucking feel like it, when I can just make a 1-pot recipe? Okay, you got your cutting board you gotta wash, you got the cuchillo you gotta wash, and now the pot. That has just minimized the amount of dishes I have to do for the day by a billion. And I know I'm being dramatic, but like I swear whenever I cook, it's like, why do I have like 5 pots and pans and 2 cutting boards and multiple knives and all that stuff? It's just like, it gets overwhelming. And I don't like feeling overwhelmed. Another thing I'm also doing to simplify my life is to use all of my products. And it's kind of crazy because simplifying my life has also been like a sustainable journey for me. So I've been using all of the skincare products that I already own, a lot of the hair products that I already own. I haven't bought anything, and I will be switching over once I'm done with these physical plasticky bottles to then bars of soap. Like I was literally Googling today, like how do you make your own soap? How can I live a more sustainable life? Because for me, that will simplify my life. I hate seeing all these plastic bottles in the bathroom. They bother me. They're taking up so much room. I have 2 makeup bags. That's freaking annoying because I literally only use like one smaller makeup bag that I have. But why do I have so much other makeup that I don't even use? And it's not that I don't enjoy makeup. I don't appreciate those things. It's just that it's not serving me, and I want to make my life simpler. I remember, and I didn't do this because I was like, I don't know if I'm just doing this because I'm depressed or if I'm just being dramatic. I was like, I just want to be a minimalist. I just want like one pair of jeans, like 3 t-shirts of the same color, and then I don't have to stress about what I'm wearing every day. And I was like, in the back of my head, I'm like, Gabby, are we being dramatic? Like, are we being dramatic? Is me being that simple? Like, it will really simplify my life, but am I being dramatic and like losing my personality if I were to do that? And the answer was yes. That was a little bit more of an extreme for me. I still enjoy, quirky plushies and, I have more of like a maximalist style, I would say. And so like, I'm trying to find that happy medium of still having my same style and like enjoying thrifting and things like that, while also trying not to overconsume, but also trying not to be a complete minimalist. It's like, you got to find that balance, and only you can know that balance for yourself. But I promise you, using the products that you own will make you feel so good, because once you're repurchasing things, it's things that you love, things that you know that you love and that you enjoy. And yes, if you think, I wonder if I can donate one of my 20 perfumes to a Buy Nothing page. Girl, yes, you can. And you honestly go on there if you're running low. I've seen people donate like Gucci perfumes. I've seen people donate skincare products that didn't work for them, but they just didn't want it to go to waste. I've seen people donate formula, guys. Formula to these pages, extra diapers, things like that. And I mean, if that kind of stuff is just like not your vibe, okay, it's not your vibe. But for me, that's so freaking cool that we're creating a community again, because back in the day it was, you could ask your neighbor for sugar or for milk or whatever, and now it's like, now your neighbor is on your Ring camera and you're like, what the fuck are you doing at my house? Like, why are you in my space? Like, it's just, the times have changed so much, and I think it's really cool that we're trying to keep that sense of community around, because I think sometimes we can just become so like I guess like we can just like really disassociate with like society, because we're so caught up in our phones and in technology and in this highly anxious world. And it's like, let's revert back a little bit. There were some good things that came from back then, like growing your own like vegetation and stuff like that. Like that was great that we could do those things. And so I think we got to find that middle ground. So while you are simplifying your life, I do encourage you to take the earth into mind and to be thinking about the earth, because not enough of us are caring about it. I haven't used Amazon in a few months, and that's been one of my goals, is to really limit or just not use it at all. And while it can make your life convenient, I'm not going to argue that it doesn't make your life convenient, but it's at the expense of other people's well-being, because now it's other people that are having to run and try to get these packages to you on time. It's other people who are not being able to use the bathroom because they have to meet these quotas to be able to send you your package on time. Think about these things. Think about humanity and care about the people around you in these communities, because it's at the expense of other people. Like your convenience is at the expense of other people. Now that we're off on that tangent, another way that I've simplified my life is to know what works for me. So if I know something's not working for me, bitch, you got to change it, because I haven't used a physical planner in forever. I love physical planners. There was a point in time where it was really productive for me, but the past few physical planners that I've bought in, I have not used. And if I have used them, it has not been consistently. So why am I going to keep buying them if I know I'm not going to use them? It's time to let that kind of stuff go. It's important to realize what makes sense for you. If you know that you're always losing your keys, okay, why don't you put a hook at the front door for you? Or a little basket, somewhere that you know that you're gonna check. If like, even when it comes to me with my sneakers, okay, I at this point own 3 pairs of sneakers. And honestly, one of them I haven't worn in a while. I've been thinking about reselling. Actually, I've been thinking about selling or donating 2 of them because I do not use them. I wear basically 1 pair, and I know that y'all have seen them. I know that you can tell me what pair of shoes I wear pretty much every damn day of my life, and it is my New Balances. and they're just so comfortable and they literally match everything. Why am I going to own 10 pairs of sneakers? Because I can tell you at one point, I more than likely owned 10 or more pairs. I used to be a shoe collector. I had so many freaking shoes that I really wouldn't use. And it's like, why? What's the point of owning all of this if it's just gonna stress me out? I can't tell you how many times I've moved since I was 18. I mean, I've probably lived in like 6 different places since then. And you know what my ass was doing? Packing up all those things that I was not wearing, knowing I'm not gonna probably wear it for another few years, and taking them places. Here it is in this new home. Now I gotta unpack it. Now I gotta set it all up, whatever. And I'm not going to use it. What's the point of owning something that I'm not going to use? So yeah, that's one thing. Like, make sure that you're using things and that you love them. Because if you're not reaching for something, you don't need it. You really don't need it. And that's why some people just have like, I used to be the type of person that was like, oh, I need to have a new dress for every event, or I'm taking a trip, I need to buy clothes for it. You really don't. You own plenty, and now you're just creating more clutter for yourself. Now you're stressing yourself out because now you got to go shopping, and now you're spending money that you don't need to be spending. This is money that could be going to your trip, to even another trip. And one thing that I also recommend is backpacking. Do not underestimate what your backpack can hold. I have been backpacking my trips for a while now, and it has been the most convenient thing for me, just to have what I need. So I will take my toothbrush. I don't forget my retainer, my floss, whatever your, what's it called? Like your bathroom essentials. Take those things and pack light. Pack what you need. I used to be an overpacker who also didn't have outfits planned. So by the time I knew it, I'm there and I'm like, I got nothing to wear. And it's like half of my closet's in the freaking suitcase, and I didn't match or plan anything out. So I now am very intentional. Like, okay, well, I'm only taking a backpack. So we got to figure out what I'm going to wear, because I got to make it work for 4 or 5 days or however long my trip is. So, and whenever you do these things, it again makes you think to yourself, like, what do I really need? What do I need? And this is a really big question to ask yourself. So sit down and write and reflect. What do I need? What do I need? And whatever you don't need, this is going to sound like a very extreme thing to say. Get rid of it. Get rid of things you don't need, because I know what it's like to own so much, and I know what it's like to be consumed by the things that I own, and to feel so overwhelmed that you can't breathe and you don't even know where to start. Oh, I don't even know where to start. Start small. And you hear this, and I've heard it a billion times before with everything in life. Start small, build the habit, whatever. Okay, whatever you say. No, seriously. Today, I'm going to go through just my jeans. Okay, put them in a little pile, a little baggie over there, whatever. Okay, today, I'm going to go through my shirts. Okay, now I don't got energy for the week. Okay, fine. On the weekend, now you're going to go through your shoes. Gaby, I got way too many shoes. Okay, fine. Go through your sneakers. Okay, we go through your sneakers, and then another day, like, break things up for you, because I've been there where it's like, now I gotta do this again tomorrow, because you bite off more than you can chew. And it will feel like that for a little bit, but I promise you, once you're done, you will feel so free, so light, because now things can fit where they go. Because I used to think, it's the space. It's not that I own too much. Honey, that was never the problem. And I was so in denial. And it's like, I would blame it on the space. Oh, but the space is just too small. And of course, obviously, if you have this massive house, you can fit more things in it. But it's like, but why do you own so much to begin with? Why? I had jeans that were sitting there that did not fit me. Still just taking up room in my closet. Why am I letting it take up room in my closet when it can just go to a good home? Go to somebody who needs it, or who has been really wanting a pair of jeans, maybe of this brand, or a pair of jeans that fit them. Maybe their parents can't afford jeans that fit them. And now you can give them to somebody who they like, spread love, spread joy, spread kindness. And that can be done through, I guess, like, what I want to say is like, if you do good things will come back to you. And obviously, like, the intention behind these things is a big part of it. But like, remind yourself that like you're doing things obviously to make your life easier, more convenient. But at the same time, you're also helping somebody out. Like, it will never be a lose situation, you donating something. That'll never be a lose situation. Like, it's always like a good thing to do. Even if you have extra book bags, donate them. Like, freaking like put water bottles in them. Put a reusable water bottle in them, because I know you have probably 50 reusable water bottles in your freaking cabinet. Put one of them, clean it out, put one of them in one of the extra book bags that you have, or extra bags you have. Donate it to somebody. While you're driving on the road, and if you see somebody who looks like they can use a backpack, some water, maybe get some snacks from the dollar store, put them in there. Give them to somebody. You have pads that you don't wear, that you don't like. Put them in that baggie too, and now you can give it to somebody who needs it. And I think that that's one thing that, you think about. You're like, well, I don't have, so how can I give? But baby, you have plenty. Look around you. You have a roof over your head. You have a bed to sleep on. You have plenty to give. And I think sometimes we have to remember our mindset. Like, we have to remind ourselves of how abundant we are, how much we do have, versus like thinking about what we don't, because we really are blessed. We really are blessed in our own ways. Obviously, I don't know everybody's situation, but I do know that you do have something. If you're watching this, you got freaking internet. If you're watching this, you have a phone. You have. Even if you're watching me from a freaking iPad, you have something that somebody doesn't. So stop thinking that, oh, I don't have, I'm poor, I'm broke, I'm this. No, you're not. You're really not. Oof. That was a massive tangent that I went on. Yeah, I think that that's it for this episode, y'all. If there has been anything that has helped you simplify your life, let me know, because I probably need to do that too. Clean up your apps, y'all. Y'all have so many freaking apps that you don't use, and I'm one of those people. And I also still need to go through my pictures again, because I haven't gone through them in a while. Clean up your space. It'll help mentally, it'll help physically, it'll help spiritually. I'm telling you, whenever I started donating things, I could feel a massive weight lifted off of me, because I like to move, I like to travel, I like to feel free. I don't like to feel trapped. That's one thing I don't like, is to feel trapped. And I didn't realize that I was being trapped by the things that I owned. And it was through simplifying my life with the clutter that I had in all of my spaces that I began to realize, like, holy fuck, I'm the problem. Because half the time, we are the problem. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's true. It is true. Life is nothing but a mirror. If something bothers you about somebody, that's more of a reflection of you. It says more about you than it does them. And I know I'm going to do a whole episode on spirituality and me finding myself and coming to and waking up and having my aha moment. And so, you know what? I'm going to make that the next episode. It'll be about my spiritual journey. Well, I hope you look forward to that, because I'm looking forward to it. And I hope you have a freaking amazing day. Drink your water, y'all, because I know that some of y'all need to be drinking more water. And take care of yourselves. I'll catch you in the next episode. Love you. Bye.